Hi everyone, welcome to Mindful Crafts and More. I'm Katrina. If this is your first time checking out my channel, welcome. Take a look at this video or any of my other videos, and if you find yourself inspired, join my channel. For those of you who are returning, welcome back. I really appreciate you just hanging out with me for a bit. So, hi everyone. Today I would like to share with you how I made another tatted bracelet. And this one also has beads. It's a little bit different from the other one, and it uses a technique that I showed you in the previous one, which is a split ring. So here is an example of the bracelet right here. And this is one that I made a while back. I do think that it is really beautiful. And again, it's just using a split ring technique. So I would like to show you guys how to make this in two different techniques. One will be shuttle tatting and the other one will be needle tatting. So I did kind of hint on this in previous video and show you guys a little bit of it. So today I would like to show you one, and then in another video, I'll come back and show you the other. All right. So today, let's go ahead and see if we can tackle doing this with the shuttle. All right. So let's take a look and see what we need for this project. Hold on for a moment. I am back. Here you can see the materials that are needed for this project. You're going to need two different shuttles. So one shuttle I have wound completely, and the other one I used a different color for the shuttle, and it is actually smaller. So on this one, I have approximately 2.5 yards of the thread, and it is continuous, okay? And this is the thread that we'll be using today. This is size 10 Aunt Lydia's Crochet Classic mercerized cotton. You'll also need beads. These are glass beads, and they are small enough, appropriate size, I think, for the thread that I am using. You'll need a pair of scissors. I have an embroidery needle, but if you have a tatting needle handy, go ahead and use perhaps a size 5 or smaller. Okay, and you will need a steel crochet hook. This is a 0.5 millimeter steel crochet hook. This is the example of the bracelet that we will be making today. And as you see, it uses split ring techniques. We will be using it to make the rings as well as picots. And we also will be doing chains on either end of our work. So now that we have our materials together, let's get started. I am back. We are ready to get started. So we're going to call the lighter, larger shuttle, shuttle number 1, and the darker, smaller shuttle, shuttle number 2. Okay, shuttle number 2, we will be using to make the second half of our split rings as well as our chains. All right, so for shuttle number 2, what we're going to do first is just go ahead and give ourselves some room so that we have something to work with. And it's going to sit over to the side for a moment until we're ready to use it. And I just unwound it so that it'll kind of be out of the way and not pulling as I'm doing the first part of the work. Okay. All right. So we're going to start by making a ring. All right. So we'll make our ring by wrapping it around our hand on the outer portion of our hand and bringing it forward and just catching it. All right. So now the next thing we're going to do is make a double stitch. So you make a double stitch by bringing it around so that the yarn is coming from the top. You're going to go in this middle section and above, bring it through all of that, relax your fingers, pull on the shuttle, and then bring it taut. And that transfers the loop. All right. So now the second half is to go above this line here, around and through it. Okay, and you see it's going through and that loop is underneath. So now we're going to pull on the shuttle, relax our fingers, and then bring it taut, and that gives us a double stitch. All right, so that's number 1. we're going to make 7 more double stitches for a total of 8 here, okay? All right, so bring it around, go through, pull the shuttle, relax, go above and around, pull the shuttle, relax, bring it taut. That's the second one, all right? So let's do 6 more.
Next level.
All right, so we have a total of 8 double stitches. All right, so now we're going to do a picot. And I want my picot to be about that size. That looks pretty good to me. Okay, and now we're going to do four double stitches. Which will be 3. All right, so that's 4 double stitches total because the first one after that picot counted as 1. All right, okay, so now what we're going to do is a large picot. All right, so we're going to go in and give ourselves a nice size picot, and I'm going to try to eyeball it. I want the picot to be maybe about 1 inch long, okay? And I will close it up. And you see that's a larger picot, okay? All right, so now after that, I need to do 3 more double stitches. All right, so there we have it. We have 8 double stitches picot, 4 double stitches large picot, 4 double stitches. All right, so that completes our ring. Let's go ahead and close it. Okay, so that is our ring. All right, so let's go ahead and do another. We're not going to reverse our work. We're going to keep our work in the same location. All right, and we're going to now make our second ring, and this is going to be our repeat. Okay, so 4 double stitches. Large picot, 4 double stitches, which will be 3. All right. So that's 4 double stitches, large picot, 4 double stitches. Hopefully you can see that. All right, so now I'm going to pull on this. And the reason I'm going to pull on this is because now I need to reverse my work. All right, so I'm going to take my hand out and I'm going to change it to the other side. And now I'm going to use this thread from my small shuttle. So now I do have to wind it back up. Not a whole lot, but I do have to wind it some. Okay. So I want you to be able to see what I'm doing. And the reason is because these stitches are made a little different from these, all right? So now these are going to be made in reverse, all right? They're made in reverse. All right, so we're going to do the second half first, but we're not going to relax. We're just going to slide it over. So you have to be really careful to not transfer that loop, all right? Now we're going to do the first half, and once again, we're going to slide it over. Okay, so that's one double stitch. Now I need to do 7 more. Okay, so second half, first half. All right, so let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so now I have my split ring all together. I'm going to turn. And this is ring number 2. Okay, so ring number 2 is a split ring. It is 4 double stitches, large picot, 4 double stitches, and then on the other side, all reverse double stitches, 8 of them. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to close our ring. And so now we have 2 rings. All right, so now we're going to keep it in the same position and we're going to do it again. So wrap around, preparing to do another ring. Okay, and we're going to do 4 double stitches. Large picot. Four double stitches or 3 more. All right, so we have 4 double stitches, large picot, 4 double stitches. Now let's go ahead, give ourselves some room. Reverse our work. Take the second shuttle and reverse tat 8 double stitches. Okay, so this is ring number 2. Let me go ahead and reverse my work so that it is where it in position as I began it. And this is what we have, okay? So all of the remaining rings on this side of our work will be the same, okay? We're going to start out with 4 double stitches, very large picot, 4 double stitches. We're then going to put that shuttle down, reverse our work, and then we're going to reverse tat 8 double stitches, okay? Then we will turn our work back, go ahead and close our ring, and then prepare for the next ones. My recommendation to you is, if you haven't already and you don't know what size you would like, you're going to continue to tat until it is approximately the same circumference as your wrist, okay? So depending on how tight your stitches are will determine how many rings you need for yours, all right? So I have found that if I use a larger thread, say a size 5 thread, which your craft cord will be size 5, then you may not need as many rings, okay? But for mine, usually I make them about 7 inches, and so I try to get the rings to be close to about 7 inches, knowing that I'm going to put my chains on either end, okay? So we're going to keep working on it until we get it to about 7 inches. Now for mine, I have done, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I've done about 12 rings across. So if you want, you can go ahead and continue to make the split rings the way I have shown you here. And I will meet you back once I have gotten about 7 inches or approximately 12 split rings. Okay. So decide how you want to do, and that's okay. I love it when you hang out with me. So if you decide to hang out with me, that'd be great. But if you want to go ahead and work on it and come back, that'll be great too. All right. So let's get to tatting. I am back. I have now reached approximately 7 inches on my bracelet, and I think I'm ready to now go ahead and do the ends. Okay, so I did the last ring thinking I had another ring to go, but I think I'm at the end for now. So let's see how many rings I achieved with my tatting, which is fairly tight. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, so you may have a different number depending on how tight your tatting is. You really just wanted to get close to the size that you need for your wrist. Okay, so mine is at 7 inches, so I'm going to stop here. Now, once you have reached the size that you want, now we need to put the ends. So I'm going to grab the other one so that you can see where we are. Okay, so here is the other one. So as you see, I actually started, I went back before that. So this one's going to end up being a little bit larger. And as you see here, this one does reach my wrist just nicely, especially with the findings. And I'm going to measure it so that you can tell exactly how wide I have that one. So for the rings, it actually makes out to be about 6 inches. And then when you add on the chains, it'll be approximately 7 inches. So I could have stopped it before I got to that point, which means I would have done 2 less. So I would have done maybe 15 rings instead of 17 rings. So this one will fit a little bit wider. Maybe it'll fit an ankle or so, okay? But that's okay, no worries here. So we're gonna go ahead and now we're gonna do our chain. So let's go ahead and we will show you how to go ahead and do the chains. All right, so now for the chains, we're going to use the small and the large shuttle. All right, so we're going to take our small shuttle and give ourselves some room. Okay, and we're going to use that to place our stitches on. So I'm going to wrap it around my small finger and around my forefinger. And then I'm going to use the larger shuttle to go ahead and do the tatting. Okay, but I'm going to transfer these stitches. So that's going to be a little different from what we did on our split ring. Okay, so I'm not going to keep it taut the whole time. I'm going to relax my hands and go ahead and transfer the stitches. Okay, so let's go ahead, wrap it around the small finger and the large finger. And then we're going to go ahead and tat 6 double stitches. Okay.
Yeah.
That's 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. And 6. All right, so I need to give myself some more room here with my small shuttle. Now I'm going to make a picot, and this is going to be where we attach our hardware. Okay, so just give ourselves a picot. It doesn't have to be really large. That's fine. Okay, and now we need to do 5 more double stitches.
No.
All right, so this is our chain. Okay, our chain is 6 double stitches, picot, 5 double stitches. All right, so let's go ahead and Just kind of bring those stitches together a little bit. All right. That looks good. Okay, so now we're ready to do the second half of our bracelet. We are halfway done. All right, so now we're going to be using our beads and we're going to be using our steel hook. All right, so I'm going to keep the beads up here out of the way. All right, so now here we're going to do more split rings. And these rings are going to be just a little different because we need to add our beads and we're going to need to go ahead and connect to these large picots that we made here. Okay, so now we're going to reverse our work. Okay. And here we're going to go ahead and make our rings again. Okay. So now these rings are going to be a little different from the ones that we did before. Okay, so this will be 4 double stitches.
No.
I'm going to bring it close to that chain that we just finished.
No. No.
Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to attach it to this picot right here. All right, so the way we're going to attach it is we're going to grab our crochet hook and we're going to pick up 2 of our beads and we're going to take and pull them through like so. And then we're going to place them on, we're going to place them on our loop, bring it through, and then we're going to bring it through the shuttle. And that's going to connect it Okay, we just have to move it over a little bit. Okay, so that's going to connect it to this picot, all right, and connect it to our ring. Okay, so now we're going to tap 4 more double stitches.
Yeah.
All right, so now the next thing we need to do is reverse our work and tap the other half of our ring. So let's go ahead and take our hand out, turn it the other way, and pick up our second shuttle. And we're going to do reverse tatting here. So let's make this a little closer. Okay. So reverse tatting 8 stitches, okay? Okay, so let's turn it back. And let's take a look at what we have, all right? So we have 4 double stitches. This is where we started, 4 double stitches. We had joined the picot with the beads, 4 double stitches. We then reversed our work and then did 8 reverse double stitches. All right, now we're ready to close our ring. Okay, so I hope that you can now see how this is connected. All right, so we're going to do that again. All right, using the large shuttle, go ahead and set up to make your ring. Okay, and then we start our tatting. Now you can either have your tatting going across the back of your hand, or you can just place it kind of inside so that it's kind of out of the way until you're ready to use it. It doesn't matter as long as you have the orientation that you are moving in. And your orientation is that your split rings are being made from the shuttle towards your opposite hand. Okay, so they're being made away from you. Okay, so let's go ahead and do our next one. So 4 double stitches. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and join it to the next picot. So I'll grab two beads. And it's a good idea to check to make sure that your beads will actually go through your hook before you get started. You don't want to force it. These are glass beads, so you don't want them to break or anything like that. Okay, so we're just going to work it through and pull it through. And then we're going to go ahead and add it onto the loop. Pull that through. And pull it through our shuttle. And then just bring it close, and it is now attached. Okay, so now we do 4 more double stitches. Move this out of the way. Let's do 4 more double stitches.
No. No.
Right, so now I'm gonna give myself a little space here. Turn to the other side so that I can do the other half of my split ring. And I'm going to make sure that I have the larger shuttle out of the way. And using the smaller shuttle, let's do our reverse tatted stitches. Okay, so that's 8 reverse tatted stitches. Now I'll put that down, reverse my work back, pick up the larger shuttle, and close the ring. Okay, so we now have 2 attached. Let's go ahead and continue to work on attaching them all the way down until we get to the end, and then I'll show you what to do next. I'm going to do it slowly another time, and then I'll speed it up, okay? I thought that I would stop here and go ahead and do a recap, review the split rings, and do the last two rings along with you. So I'm going to put a timestamp for this portion just in case you needed a recap of the split rings, and that way it'll be slow enough and you'll be able to kind of go over it, okay? So for a split ring, what you need to do is you're going to take your first shuttle and you're going to wrap it around just like you would do an ordinary ring. For this particular piece, I have pieces that I'm going to attach it to. So I'm going to actually just kind of fold those out of the way and just kind of hold them. All right. So I just have my thread wrapped around my hand as if I'm doing a ring. All right. So now the next thing that I'm going to do is do the first half, the double stitch, wrapping it around my hand so that the thread is coming above. I'm going to go in the space there and above and pull it through, relax my hand, pull in the shuttle to transfer the stitch, and then slide it over. Okay, so now I'm going to try to slide it over so that it is very close to the work so that I don't have a big gap there. Okay, and I hope you can see that. This is coming from my second shuttle. So I'm really just going to push that out of the way. Okay, so I really just need to make sure that I have this as close as I can get it. All right, so now I need to do the second half of the double stitch. So I'm just going to bring it over this top loop here and bring it through, and the rest of my thread is just hanging. Hopefully you can see that. And then I'm just going to pull it through. Okay, relax my hand, pull on my shuttle, and then slide it over. All right, so hopefully I don't have too big of a gap between my last ring and the new ring that I'm making. All right, so now that I have that ring kind of secured and the stitches are on there, I can continue to do my double stitches. So now I need to do 3 more double stitches. First half, second half. Last one. Okay, so now hopefully you can see that. Hopefully you can see that I have 4 double stitches there. Okay, that one was hidden, but there's 4 double stitches there. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is grab my beads and my crochet hook. And I'm just going to try to find 2 beads that will fit on my crochet hook. Now these are glass beads, and I think the nature of the way they're made, not all of the holes have the same diameter, so they don't all fit on my crochet hook. Now if I used a beading needle, I'm pretty sure I could get all of these beads to go on, but because I'm using a crochet hook, you know, that's posing a little bit of a challenge, but that's okay because I have enough beads in here to choose from, and usually I have been able to find at least 2 that will fit. So I'm just going to keep kind of moving them around until I find ones that fit. If that doesn't fit good, and I don't want to break my crochet hook, nor do I want to break the beads. So I'm just really careful. If it doesn't fit easily, I don't push it on there. Okay, so I'm just going to keep. I found one. Okay, so I found one. I have to find another. There it is. Okay, so I have 2 beads on my hook. And I'm going to go ahead and grab this picot right there, put the 2 beads on, and I put them on one by one. I just kind of wiggle and put them on one by one. And then I need to go ahead and put them onto my loop that's around my hand, and take my hook out and then bring my shuttle through that loop. That puts the beads and the picot together now on the ring. Okay, so hopefully you can see that it's on the ring. Now I need to do 4 more double stitches. Okay, so now the next thing I need to do is reverse my work. Okay, so I need to give myself a little space here because I need to add on to this ring, but on the other end of it. Then I'm going to take my hand out of the loop, turn the work, and put my hand back in the loop on the other end of it. Now I'm going to be working with the other shuttle number 2. So in order to do a split ring with shuttle tatting, you're going to need to use 2 different shuttles. Okay. So now I have my second shuttle and I'm ready to do my work. But for these stitches, I'm going to do them in a reverse tatting method. Okay. So it's a reverse double stitch. So here we go. Second half of the double stitch. Slide it over, but don't transfer the loop. So keep your hand taut, okay? First half of the double stitch, continue to keep it taut. So notice I'm not moving my fingers here. I'm just keeping this nice and taut. All right, so I need to do that 7 more times, okay? so that was 7 times. I want to have 8 total, so just want to check and make sure that I count my stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so for this one, we have 8 reverse stitches, and we started out with 4. So we did, hold on. Okay, here we have. So we have 4 double stitches joined to this picot with 2 beads, then 4 double stitches. Then we did reverse 8 double stitches. All right, so now I'm just turning my work back. And now I can just pull on shuttle number 1 to close my ring. And if you did the reverse tatted stitches right, everything should slide. If you transfer the stitches, then unfortunately they won't slide. So you have to make sure that the second half of the split ring, you are keeping it taut and not transferring that loop for your reverse double stitch. Okay, so now I have one more to do, and so I'm going to repeat that. Okay, so I'm going to take shuttle number 1, wrap it around my hand. I'm going to do 4 double stitches, join to the picot with the 2 beads, and 4 double stitches. Let's do that again. All right, so I'm ready for my bead. There's one. See if we can find another. There we go. 2 beads. I'm going to add it to here. And now I'm going to add it to the loop. Bring it through. And bring it close. Hopefully you can see that. And now I'm going to do 4 more double stitches. All right. Okay, so we have the first half, which is 4 double stitches, joined to the picot with 2 beads and 4 double stitches. Let's go ahead and turn all of our work over to do this second half of the split ring. Okay, we're going to put shuttle number 1 down and pick up shuttle number 2. And we're going to do 8 reverse double stitches. Okay. Right, so we have 8 reverse double stitches. Let's go ahead and reverse our work back. Grab shuttle number 1. And close our ring. All right, so we have completed all of our split rings. We are now ready to do our very last chain to connect our work to the beginning split ring that we did. So we're going to take and give ourselves some space with shuttle number 2. We're going to grab it with our small finger and forefinger, and now we're going to tat a chain. We're going to tat the chain with the shuttle number 1, but we're going to be tatting it onto shuttle number 2 thread. Okay. All right. So let's prepare to do that. I'm going to give myself less space on here for shuttle number 1. All right. So now we just need to do 6 double stitches, picot, 6 double stitches, and then we're going to join to this picot here. Okay. So let's do 6 double stitches. Now we're going to do a picot. So I want to kind of make my picot about the same. It doesn't have to be as long as the picots that we were doing for our beads. So I'm just going to make it a little smaller. There we go. I like that one better. Now 5 more double stitches. All right, so we have our chain done. Let's go ahead and bring our stitches together. And now we just need to join it and we will be done. Okay, so in order to join it, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and go into the picot. I'm going to pull shuttle number 1 thread through like this. And then I'm going to bring it close. And I'm going to pull shuttle number 2 thread, shuttle number 2 through that loop. And this is how I'm going to make my join. Okay. Now that I have it through the loop, now I can pull on number 1. If I keep everything really close, I can pull on shuttle number 1 and lock it in. Okay, so we have now completed it. Now, what I want to do here is I want to make sure that it is knotted and it's not going to come loose. Okay. I am back. And here we have the completed bracelet. The only challenge that you may face is when you are connecting it at the very last spot. So there are a lot of ways that you can do it. You can just bring the loop through and create a knot. You could do something called a lock join. And a lock join is just taking the thread from shuttle number 2, bringing it through the very small picot, and then the loop that's made that you just brought through, bring that same shuttle thread through again, and making sure everything is really, really close. You're going to go ahead and lock it in, and that creates a tight knot that is very difficult to get out. So just make sure that you have it close. All right. Other than that, you just hide your ends, and then here you have it. So I think it turned out great. Let's go ahead and switch back to the main camera. I am back. So if you have worked along with me, you now have a beautiful shuttle tatted bracelet, and you have learned quite a few techniques. You have learned how to do split rings. You have learned how to do very small picots, very large picots. You have learned how to join them together and add beads to them, as well as do chains. And that's just an awesome thing, right? So we got lots of practice doing split rings today. So hopefully now you understand how to do that. You just have to keep in mind for the split ring, for the first half of the split ring, you're using regular double stitches. For the second half of the split ring, you are reversing those double stitches and you are not transferring the loops. Okay, you're not transferring them. You're keeping your hands nice and taut as you just slide the loop over and you're not transferring it. So as long as you keep that in mind, you should have no problems working split rings. I really do like doing projects like this because it really does give me lots and lots of practice, and I feel like I get better the more I do them. Okay, so I hope you didn't have any trouble with it, and I hope your bracelet turned out beautiful. So would you like to see the bracelet that I have in real time? Here it is. I think it turned out so beautiful. And again, I used the glass beads, and I haven't put my hardware on, but it is all set. You can choose to stiffen it if you like. You can use starch, or you can use more of a permanent stiffener if you like. But I like the fluidity of it, and I just think that it came out beautiful. All right. So tell me what you think. Now, this one, again, we just did. So this one, is shuttle tatted. The other one that I showed you in the beginning, this one was done using a tatting needle. So I will show you in a different video how to do this with needle tatting. It is a little different from this one because you don't have to worry about transferring the stitches on one side versus the other, but we'll talk about that in another video, okay? So I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope that you were able to follow it. Please slow the video down, ask questions if you have any questions. I'll do my best to try to answer them. I am just learning, but you know what? I'm having fun, and I am so happy that you guys are coming along with me on my journey as I continue to explore tatting. All right. So let's go ahead and take a look at the puzzle solution for the last video that included a puzzle. And this is what I came up with. And this is the puzzle for today. So once again, guys, thank you so much. I appreciate you. I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for checking out my videos, for giving me a thumbs up. If you haven't already, I hope you consider subscribing. I really do enjoy puzzles, so thank you so much for working the puzzles with me and just for hanging out for a bit. Do everything you can to be mindful. Do everything you can to be at your best health. And by all means, guys, be crafty every day. I look forward to seeing you again soon in my next video or one of yours. Bye-bye now.
Next level.